So, usually when we think about a high energy dance track, we expect, a certain level of functional simplicity.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Like you walk into a club, the strobe light flashes on, it flashes off, the beat drops, and the DJ essentially just points at the floor and gives a single directive.
Which is just move.
Exactly. Move. It's binary. It feels very straightforward by design.
Yeah, because we generally want our dance floors to serve as escapes,
Right.
right? Like we look for instructions that are highly visible, neatly categorized into this, easy rhythm that demands physical exertion, but very little intellectual engagement.
Right. Yeah. A pounding bass line usually isn't asking us to solve a puzzle.
Exactly.
But stepping into the world of hyper-produced late 80s and early 90s Eurobeat-style music completely dismantles that expectation.
Oh, for sure. It's a totally different beast.
It really is. We're looking at a blueprint today that is incredibly intricate. It's a track that functions as an industrial audio machine, heavily disguised by neon lights and a disco ball.
Yeah, it serves as a literal masterclass in how a piece of music can be meticulously engineered to replicate its lyrical themes on a structural level.
So welcome to another deep dive. For you listening right now, our mission today is to peel back the layers of a track that proves even the most relentless, repetitive dance music can, serve as a goldmine of thematic storytelling.
And ruthless industrial precision.
Yeah, exactly. And the track in question is Boom Boom Dollar by King Kong and D.Jungle Girls.
A classic.
Right. So over the course of this deep dive, we are going to dissect these lyrics to explore some highly unexpected themes of transactional wealth and kinetic warfare.
Which sounds intense for a dance track, I know.
It does. And then after that, we'll examine the literal audio assembly line revealed when we look at the song's extensive production credits.
Yeah, that part is wild.
It really is. By the end, I promise you won't hear a simple four on the floor beat the same way ever again.
No, it completely shifts your perspective once you start, reading the fine print of a club anthem and realize how many disparate parts have to lock together to create a feeling of spontaneous energy.
Right. It's not spontaneous at all. So let's start with the narrative itself. Glancing at the surface of Boom Boom Dollar, it presents as a standard high-tempo love song, right?
Right.
The first verse introduces classic romantic tropes. We hear about a sweet surrender, and the singer croons, "Darling, you're a wonderful lover, baby."
Yeah, it establishes a very traditional baseline. We also get that lyric, July, December, always deep inside of my mind.
Which sets up that premise of a timeless, year-round, all-consuming infatuation.
Exactly. It's standard pop music vocabulary.
But the song violently swerves away from that romance almost immediately. I mean, it dives straight into the most prominent theme in the entire track outside of the beat itself.
Which is cold, hard cash.
Yes. Cold, hard cash.
The juxtaposition is severe, actually, if you're paying attention to the lyrics rather than just, letting the melody wash over you.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because I am genuinely questioning if this is a love song in any traditional sense.
Right.
Look at the intro. The very first words sung alongside that pounding beat are money findin' dollar.
Yeah, repeated over and over.
Right. The phrase repeats 4 times before the concept of romance is even introduced. And then in the pre-chorus, any romantic illusion just dissolves entirely.
So it vanishes.
The lyrics hit us with, "You keep a pocket full of green, green dollars. I love you. Buy us some time." We really have to ask, is the singer falling for a person or just their wallet?
That tension right there is the central engine of the track.
Yeah.
You're isolating the core duality of the narrative.
Yeah.
It's operating at a space where affection and currency are totally interchangeable.
It reminds me of the atmosphere at a high-stakes casino table.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Right. Because when a player is standing at the roulette wheel, they don't harbor deep affection for the dealer or the physical wheel. They are infatuated with the payout and the thrill of the transaction itself.
Yeah.
The lyrics here are literally stating, "I love you. Buy us some time." Love is framed as a meter running down, like a commodity that requires constant financial topping up.
That casino analogy effectively captures the anxiety and the stakes present in the text, I think. And we look at the climax of that same pre-chorus.
Oh, the Rockefeller line.
Yeah, exactly. The lyrics explicitly state, "So you can buy the world like Rockefeller."
Wow.
They are invoking a historical figure synonymous with the monopolistic world-conquering wealth. The song just abandons romantic poetry to celebrate the aspirational power of wealth.
It merges romantic desire with blatant financial ambition, The wonderful lover from verse 1 is only wonderful because they possess that pocket full of green, green dollars.
Right. And we have to consider how this maps onto the reality of club culture, too.
How so?
Well, a dance club is inherently a space of display. It's an environment designed for projecting status. The lyrics take the unspoken socioeconomic reality of nightlife, like who is buying the drinks, who secured the VIP booth, who has the disposable income to fund the evening.
Right.
And it turns it into the explicit text of the song. Financial dominance becomes the primary mechanism of physical attraction.
It's incredibly blunt. I mean, the track says, "You're very hot, it seems like, hey, young fella, take me on the night."
Exactly.
The physical attraction is inextricably linked to the financial capacity to literally take them on the night. The money find in dollar is the true protagonist here.
And notice the phrasing there, green, green dollars.
Yeah.
This isn't abstract wealth. They aren't singing about a stock portfolio or a high credit limit.
Right, it's not numbers on a screen.
No, it is physical, tangible, tactile money, a pocket full of it. It's wealth that has a physical weight to it, which perfectly mirrors the highly physical sensory environment of a nightclub.
That physical weight brings up an interesting pivot, actually, because money can represent security or luxury, but here the wealth brings a frenetic, almost aggressive energy.
Oh, completely.
As the song moves from the transactional romance into the chorus, the imagery used to describe dancing and attraction shifts into full-blown kinetic warfare.
The sweet surrender concept is completely eradicated by the time the chorus hits.
Entirely. We hit the chorus, and it's suddenly boom, 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 shoot you like a bomber.
Shoot you like a bomber.
Shoot you like a bomber, followed immediately by boom, 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 that you wanna boom, 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 pushing all the buttons.
The vocabulary of romance is ousted by the vocabulary of heavy machinery, tactical strikes, and mechanical operation.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because the specific dance references in verse 2 reveal exactly how this aggression plays out on the floor.
Let's hear it.
The singer says, "Don't like a tango, dance in your fandango tonight, baby."
Oh, yeah.
Now, a tango is passionate, but it is highly controlled. It's an intimate, structured negotiation between two partners. It requires pauses, tension, and a deliberate slowness.
Right. It relies on a delicate, reciprocal push and pull.
But the song actively rejects it. The singer demands a fandango. A fandango is much faster, livelier, and associated with a chaotic, unrelenting energy.
Totally different vibe.
And the very next line justifies why the tango is unacceptable. "We'll meet tomorrow. Boom, boom, never slows for you, baby."
How?
The track refuses to decelerate. The tango is simply too slow for the pace of the money find in dollar.
What's fascinating here is how the lyrics themselves are functioning as a percussive instrument.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because we usually analyze lyrics purely for their semantic meaning, for the story they tell.
Yeah.
But in this chorus, the lyrics are structural pillars.
Right.
The constant, relentless repetition of boom, 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 which hits us 4 times in the intro, 12 times in the first chorus, 24 times if you count the double chorus.
That is a lot of booms.
It is. And it isn't just a narrative choice. It's an acoustic one.
Okay, but let me push back on that a little. Couldn't you argue that repeating boom, 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 boom dozens of times is just a lazy lyrical placeholder?
I'm sure you could.
Like, it's entirely possible the writers just couldn't figure out a meaningful chorus that fit a 130 beat per minute track, so they just threw in a generic sound effect.
It's a fair assumption to make when looking at pop music. But in the context of hyperkinetic dance music, the phonetics are highly intentional.
Okay, break that down for me.
The hard plosive B sound in boom requires a forceful expulsion of air from the singer. When you stack those plosives back to back, boom, 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 the vocal track essentially becomes a secondary kick drum.
Oh, wow, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, it anchors the synthesizer bass line. It's acoustic engineering designed to simulate an engine or a heart operating at a dangerously high rhythm that never stops. When they sing, "Boom Boom never slows for you, baby," it operates almost as a threat.
That actually makes a lot of sense when you pair it with the pushing all the buttons imagery.
Exactly.
The song is painting a picture of sensory overload. You picture someone frantically hammering the control panel of a jet or rapidly mashing every button on an arcade cabinet. It's frantic.
Right.
You aren't surrendering to a lover. You are surrendering to a machine that dictates your physical movement.
And we should look closely at how the phrase pushing all the buttons operates simultaneously on 3 different levels in this track.
3 levels. Okay, go ahead.
First, in an interpersonal context, Pushing someone's buttons means finding their psychological triggers and provoking a reaction, right?
Yeah, sure.
Second, in a mechanical context, pushing buttons is how you operate a machine to force a specific output.
Okay, makes sense.
And third, in a financial context, linking back to our casino analogy from earlier, it's how you authorize a transaction or place a bet.
Wow. The partner, the dance floor, and the money are all collapsed into a single entity.
Exactly. They become one unified machine requiring constant aggressive input. The boom, 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 boom is the exhaust of that engine firing.
So the physical environment of the club and the conceptual environment of the lyrics are perfectly synchronized.
They are perfectly in sync.
Which brings us to a massive realization about how this song actually exists in the real world. The lyrical imagery of pushing all the buttons and operating a massive machine is a direct, literal reflection of how the track itself was created.
Yeah, we have to shift our focus from the text of the song to the actual machinery behind its existence.
If you look at the source material, the credits for Boom Boom Dollar are staggeringly dense.
Oh, it's a huge list.
It is. Let's look at the sheer extremity of the division of labor here. The credits list Mauro Farina doing a significant amount of the heavy lifting. I mean, he's credited with lead vocals, he's an arranger, and he's a lyricist.
Right, he serves as a central node for the track, but his presence is really just the beginning of the assembly line.
Because he is working directly alongside Giuliano Crivellante, who is also listed as both an arranger and a lyricist.
But it keeps going.
It does. And then Claudio Acatino is brought in as a third lyricist.
Let's just pause and consider the mechanics of that. It took three distinct individuals, Farina, Crivellana, and Acatino, collaborating as a dedicated writing team to author a song where the primary lyrical motif is the repetition of the phrase boom, 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 boom.
Okay, I have to ask, is that just label bloat?
What do you mean?
You know, you see this sometimes where multiple producers or executives demand a writing credit just to get a cut of the royalties. Like, why would it practically take three people to write these lyrics?
That's a great question. While royalty sharing is absolutely a reality of the industry, in the specific context of Eurobeat and highly synthesized dance tracks, the division of labor is usually highly specialized.
Okay.
Like one lyricist might be solely focused on translating Italian or European club concepts into English slang.
Right.
Another might be entirely focused on the rhythmic cadence, ensuring the vowels in Rockefeller hit the exact right synthesizer burst.
Wow.
And the third might be structuring the narrative flow from the sweet surrender verse to the bomber chorus. They aren't sitting around a piano debating poetic metaphors. They are engaged in sonic architecture.
So what does this all mean? It frames the production not as an artistic jam session, but as an elite corporate task force.
Yes.
Every person on this list is a highly specialized gear in a larger mechanism. I mean, look at the rest of the credits. You've got Clara Moroni brought in specifically for background vocals.
Right.
You have Florian Fadinger strictly as the producer, and Laura Newfield operating as both the recording engineer and the mixing engineer.
We can break down how those specific gears turn too. Fadinger, as the producer, is overseeing the overarching vision, the budget, and the schedule.
The logistics.
Exactly. Farina and Crivellante, as arrangers, are deciding the mathematical placement of every hi-hat and synth step.
Right. All right.
Newfield, as the mixing engineer, is literally turning the knobs on the console, pushing all the buttons to ensure the bass frequencies don't muddy the vocal plosives of the boom boom.
It's an industrial process.
Highly industrial.
Which makes the next detail from the credits incredibly fitting. According to the source material, this intricate network of specialists mix this track at a facility called Factory Sound Studios.
Wow.
Yeah, Factory Sound Studios.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the name of the studio is a piece of radical honesty.
Right.
A song heavily focused on the transactional, tactile nature of the money-finding dollar, a song that utilizes the aggressive imagery of mechanical button pushing and kinetic bombers, was quite literally manufactured in a studio called a factory.
It's the perfect metaphor, except it's not a metaphor. It is the literal reality of the product. It highlights that this music is engineered to achieve a specific physiological response.
And the scale of this manufacturing extends far beyond the walls of Factory Sound Studio.
Oh, definitely.
The credits expose a massive web of corporate entities that surround and distribute this single track.
Yeah.
You have Alpha Records, Inc., explicitly listed as the manufacturer. The labels attached to the release are Flea Records and Alpha International. The publisher handling the rights is Alabianca Records.
It's a corporate ecosystem. It takes an entire boardroom to release this song into a nightclub.
It really does. It requires a chain of distributors, phonographic copyright holders, and corporate manufacturers. When the singer declares they want to buy the world like Rockefeller, they're doing so with the backing of a multi-layered corporate structure designed specifically to capture international market share.
It's an infrastructure built exclusively to extract those green dollars from the listener's pocket.
Yes.
It's almost as if the track is fully self-aware. The lyrics are bragging about the brutal efficiency of the very system that created the song.
The track itself is the machine. The studio is the factory floor. The labels act as the monopoly. And the listener on the dance floor is the one whose buttons are being systematically pushed.
It's wild to think about because when you are on a crowded dance floor, letting the strobe light wash over you, you aren't thinking about the three specialized lyricists, the mixing engineer balancing the frequencies, or the three different record labels that had to synergize their legal departments just to make that bass drop happen.
No, of course not.
You just feel the velocity of the track.
And that invisible efficiency is the ultimate success of the factory. The complex mechanics are hidden beneath the kinetic energy. The immense corporate and acoustic effort is masked by the sheer speed of the beat.
Right.
If the arrangement can keep your heart rate up, if it ensures the boom boom never slows for you, baby, then you simply don't have the time or the cognitive bandwidth to stop and examine the assembly line.
You just surrender to it. A sweet surrender, not to a wonderful lover, but to an industrial machine.
Exactly. The romantic tropes in the first verse act as an emotional anchor. They give the listener a familiar, comfortable point of entry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But once the listener is on the floor and moving, the song aggressively pivots. It deploys the bomber. It deploys the transactional reality of the dollar.
Which brings us to the core of everything we've unpacked today. To recap the journey of this deep dive, what presents as a simple, repetitive, almost mindless dance track is actually a deeply layered artifact.
It is a perfect reflection of the environment that created it.
It seamlessly combines the cold, transactional nature of modern romance, the idea of Rockefeller wealth dictating physical attraction, with incredibly aggressive kinetic imagery.
Right.
It trades the slow, intimate negotiation of a tango for the chaotic violence of shooting you like a bomber. And all of this is carefully, deliberately assembled by an army of specialized technicians inside a literal factory.
It is a total alignment of form, content, and creation. The narrative it tells is the exact story of its own manufacturing.
Which is the primary takeaway for you listening right now.
No.
It is a powerful reminder that there is depth hiding in plain sight, especially in places we least expect it.
Oh, absolutely.
We are often quick to dismiss things that seem structurally simple, or things designed purely for physical release and entertainment.
Yeah, people brush it off all the time.
But the next time you hear a driving, relentless beat that commands you to jump, take a second to consider the machinery. Consider the army of arrangers, lyricists, engineers, and corporate entities behind the curtain, meticulously pushing all the right acoustic and psychological buttons to force you to move.
There is a massive, highly coordinated infrastructure supporting every single flash of that strobe light.
And it leaves us with something fascinating to ponder as we wrap up our analysis.
What's that?
Well, we've spent a lot of time examining the constant repetition of the phrase money find in dollar. It operates as the mantra of the entire song.
It is the core directive of the engine, yeah.
So in the context of this highly manufactured, perfectly engineered corporate studio track, is the singer the one looking for the money? Or is the song itself the machine, built by the factory, designed specifically to find your dollar?
Wow. When you look at the blueprint, it's hard not to feel like you are the target lock on the bomber's radar.
The machine never slows down.